Hi, everyone. Sam here with Progressive Hub, and we're here with Senator Nina Turner at Progressive Central. Senator, can you tell us why it's important for progressives to have their own convening before the DNC?
Yes, Sam, and I'm glad to be here at the Progressive Hub. Just big shout out to PDA, Roots Action. It's important for us to have this because we have to come together, reinforce each other, remind ourselves of why we fight, because it's daunting out there sometimes. And progressive voices are, or neoliberals and neo-fascists, they try to marginalize the progressive voice. And I think this coming together with different speakers, different panels, is to remind us of why we fight the way that we fight and why our spirit, the progressive spirit, is necessary.
You talked about being a liberator versus being a progressive in your barn burner that you just gave to all of us here. Can you talk a little bit more about that difference, why it's important to be a liberator?
Yeah, Sam, because a liberator wants to see other people free. You know, Toni Morrison, a great novelist of the 20th century, had a quote that said, "The function of freedom is to free somebody else." And man, just even saying those words just give me goosebumps. The function of freedom is to free somebody else. When you attach that mantra to the word liberator, that is really what a liberator is about. That's what the term liberation is about, is setting people free mentally, spiritually, physically, socially, economically, all of the things that make us well-rounded human beings, or at least give us the chance to live out our greatest greatness. We need that, and so we need more liberators. So that's one. The second reason is the term progressive has been co-opted. And it burns me the wrong way. Everybody can say that they're progressive, and we all remember in 2020 when Senator Sanders was running again and progressives rose up yet again from 2016 to 2020, you had a lot of those moderate Democrats being faux progressives. And I think for the progressive movement, we have to reclaim that word and really define what it means. It's not just a title, it's an embodiment of a set of beliefs. Medicare for all is one of those beliefs. Housing for all is one of those beliefs. People having paid family medical leave is one of those beliefs. Peace, not war, is one of those beliefs. And if we have elected officials in particular, now I'm not talking about the faithful, but I'm talking about people who have elected titles, actively and inactively elected titles, and they are in service to the people, they need to embody that, or they shouldn't be able to call themselves progressives. We have a progressive caucus in the Congress that anybody can join. Don't get me started, Sam. All I'm saying is that I am a liberator, like Fred Hampton was a liberator, like Dr. King was a liberator, like Rosa Parks was a liberator, Mother Jones was a liberator. I mean, we can name Eugene Debs was a liberator. There's a certain connotation to that and a certain level of fight that goes with saying, I'm going to try to help liberate folks.
That's right. And we have a lot of protests probably around the DNC. One of the biggest lines that you gave, biggest applause lines during your speech just now, was calling for a permanent ceasefire now. Can you talk about why it's still important to protest, even though we've had change at the top of the ticket? Some folks are out here saying we shouldn't have protests, there's change. Can you tell us why it's still important that people are out in the streets?
It's part of what I said in my speech before I got that applause line, which is our government, as imperfect as it is movable. And so all great social political change that has happened in this nation, I believe most of it has been linked to black liberation. But even if we take black liberation out of it for a moment, those changes came because there were everyday people putting a little extra on their ordinary. People pushed. If the progressive movement gives in just because there's been a change and just because there's a wave of hope, I'm all for the wave of hope. But we need more than pretty words, we need pretty action. If the progressive movement doesn't continue to push, then nobody's going to push, and this new wave of hope will be out there by itself, and it won't move any further. We got to push the status quo. Happy about, the fact that Democrats are moving in the right direction. To keep them moving in the right direction, we must protest. Until this ticket says permanent ceasefire and no more bombs, those of us who believe in peace must keep pushing. It is never a final destination when you fight for justice, even if you have people elected to office who you happen to like. They are part of a system. They are part of a machine. And unless they are motivated to go into the direction of justice, they won't. They could just as easily go in the direction of the corporate powers, which we know most elected officials, unfortunately, are either stopped by corporate power or they'll only nibble around the edges. When you have 40,000 people killed, we can't nibble around the edges. When you got chaos in the Sudan, we can't nibble, genocide, not just chaos, we can't nibble around the edges. When you got people with dirty water in the United States of America, hello, Flint, Michigan, still 10 years later, we can't nibble around the edges. So for the progressive movement, can more than one thing can be true at once. They can both be a little more excited about the rhetoric that's coming from this new campaign, but also push them to make sure that it comes to fruition. If we don't push, nothing's going to happen.
Absolutely. And before we let you go, can you just tell us about your organization, We Are Somebody, and what you all are up to?
Yes, we are somebody. We are a collaboration organization. I see Hanya back there like, get to We Are Somebody, get to We Are Somebody. Yes, I mean, we bring different factions of the progressive movement together, workers together, trying to connect the civil rights movement to the labor movement. That is where the magic is going to happen. So we bring people together, working class people from all walks of life together to be that change that they want to see in the world. And I am just so excited. People can go to wearesomebody.org, wearesomebody.org, get involved, donate, and help us continue to do the great work of collaboration, convening, working class people together to fight for not just bigger wages, but to fight socially, politically, and economically for a better United States and a better world.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Senator Nina Turner.